This video is going to give you some helpful hints on how to go about the take-home test for 8A. The directions will be identify the values of A, B, C, D, or E to make the equation true. Numbers can be positive or negative, show all work. So there will be 5 questions. I'm going through 2 adding ones and 1 division one. Because division and multiplication are very similar, we change a division to a multiplication by doing keep, change, flip. Okay, so notice what we have here. We're taking a rational expression plus a rational expression, and we're saying that equals 5x plus 1 over 4x minus 1. So we're going about this a little differently than how we went about it when we learned this. When we learned this, we were given A and B. We saw we have a common denominator, so we could just combine like terms to get our answer. Now we're giving you the answer, and we're going to work backwards to find A and B. So the first thing is, when we're adding these two together, we look to see, is there a common denominator? And the denominator is already common. So the first thing I do, let's try that again, is draw my line and put the denominator down there. Grab the 2x minus 3, grab the ax plus b, and we know that this whole thing has to equal on the top 5x plus 1 and on the bottom 4x minus 1. So the bottom, we're all set. So now we're going to ask ourselves, when we combine like terms here, I'm going to highlight something. We're going to be adding the 2x and the ax together to get 5x. So really the question is, 2 plus what equals 5? Well, that would be 3. All right, so I think A is going to be 3. So let's try it. So we have 2x minus 3. Let's plug in the 3 for A. And then B, the question is, I have a negative 3. Negative 3 plus what is going to give me 1? Now, there's a couple ways to do this. You could think through it, or you could say, okay, negative 3 plus B, whatever B is, that equals 1, and solve. Add 3 to both sides, add 3 to both sides. B is equal to 4. Well, let's see if that works. 2x plus 3x, that's 5x. Negative 3 plus 4, that's a positive 1, all over 4x minus 1. So we found that A is equal to 3 and B is equal to 4. That's exactly what we're doing on number 1 on the take-home test. Now, number 2 is a little trickier because we have to decide what the common denominator is, because there isn't one initially. So the first thing I'm going to do is we're going to factor the denominator. So we have an x and an x. 4 times 1 is 4. The negative goes to the 1. The positive goes to the 4, because they have to multiply to a negative 4. And when you add them, you add to 3. Plus ax over x plus 4. All right, well, as I look at that, I can see that my common denominator is going to be x plus 4, x minus 1. And now we go back and we look at the first rational expression, and we say, what do we have to multiply that by? Nothing, because the denominator is the common denominator. So we just bring down the x minus 3. Well, what do we have to multiply this by, this rational expression by? Well, we have to multiply by x minus 1 over x minus 1, because it's missing an x minus 1 in the denominator. When I do that, I get I take ax times x and ax times -1. Ax squared minus ax. All right, so now here's what we need to do now. The denominator is pretty much set. So we already can figure out then what b is. B is 1, bx. C, what are we adding to that? That's 4. D is 1, because that's the number in front of there. And E is going to be -1. So all I need is A. Well, here's the deal. I think it's pretty clear what A is, because we know that here we're starting with a 2x squared, and the only x squared term is right here. That means A must be 2. Let's make sure this works out. So you have x minus 3 plus 2x squared minus 2x. So I'm plugging in 2 everywhere there's an A, all over that. And combine like terms, we get 2x squared minus x minus 3 . 2x squared minus x minus 3 is exactly what we have. And so we are done. We have found A, B, C, D, and E. And that's what they're asking us to do. The third type I'd like to go over with you is a division problem. First thing we're going to do is we're going to do keep, change, and then I'm going to flip. All right. Well, let's just start factoring now. So we have an x and an x, 3 times 1, negative and a positive. -3 times 1 is a -3. You add them, you get -2. 2, 1, negative plus. -1, 2 times 1 is -2. You add them, you get -1. All right. Well, I don't have any clue how to factor this, because I can't, because I need to know what C and A are. I think I'm pretty safe to say that we're going to have an x and an x and an x and an x, because you're multiplying to x squared. But we need this to happen. We need the product of that to equal x plus 3 over x plus 5. All right. Well, those are going to cancel. So if an x plus 3 is left on the top, we're going to put that there and put the x plus 5 there. We know that's going to be the answer. That means that if that's the only thing left, that means the x minus 2 has to be up here, so that can cancel with that. And the x minus 3 have to be there, so that can cancel with that. And yes, we get to the answer that we want. So now we have to go back and figure out what A, B, C, and D are. Well, I have to grab this and that and FOIL them. So that's what I'm going to do now. So when I look at the green, if I FOIL that, I get x squared. Outside is -2x, inside is 3x minus 6. Okay, so that equals the numerator, which was x squared plus cx plus d. X squared plus cx plus d, which says that c is 1 and D is -6. In the denominator, we have to FOIL the x plus 5 and the x minus 3. X squared, outside is -3x, inside is 5x minus 15. X squared plus 2x minus 15. All right, that has to equal x squared plus ax plus b. Which says that a is 2 and b is -15. All right, so I think we're good. We got our A and our B. We got our C and our D. And that's exactly what they're asking us to find. You might be asking, why are we foiling the green when you're crossing that off? Well, that's because I crossed it off because there was an x minus 2 on top and bottom, and all we want left in the final answer is the x plus 3. But think about it. I want to go to the polynomial form, the quadratic trinomial. So yes, I have to FOIL that to get back to there. So that's how you go about the take-home test.